your spine is probably doing something ancient humans never did. Your slouched curve compressed, and if your back hurts, your neck aches, or your shoulders feel permanently rounded, that's not normal. That's new. For nearly 300,000 years, humans had near-perfect posture. No chiropractors, no ergonomic chairs, no physiotherapy, and almost zero back pain. Then something changed, and we've been paying for it ever since. When scientists study the skeletal remains of prehistoric humans, hunter-gatherers who lived 10,000, 20,000, even 100,000 years ago, they find something that surprises almost every researcher who looks at it. Virtually no signs of the spinal degeneration we consider normal today. No compressed discs. No bone spurs. Evidence of the chronic lower back damage that now affects 80% of adults in developed countries at some point in their lives. Their spines were straight. Their hips were open. Their joints showed almost nowhere beyond what you'd expect from simple aging. And it wasn't because they had easy lives. Ancient humans walked 8 to 16 kilometers every single day. They carried heavy loads. They climbed, crouched, sprinted, and lifted without ever stepping foot in a gym. The difference wasn't effort. It was how they moved. Here's the thing nobody tells you about sitting. Sitting is bad. It's that sitting in a chair the way we do it, hips at 90 degrees, spine unsupported, neck tilted forward, is one of the most unnatural positions the human body has ever been asked to hold. For hours, ancient humans sat too constantly, but they sat differently. They squatted. They sat cross-legged on the ground. They knelt. They perched on rocks in positions that kept their hip flexors engaged. Their spines stayed active, and their core muscles worked even at rest. These are called active rest positions, and researchers studying hunter-gatherer tribes that still exist today, like the Hadza in Tanzania, have found that even though they sit for roughly the same number of hours as office workers, they show almost none of the spinal damage. So what makes the chair so different? When you sit in a standard chair at 90 degrees, your hip flexors shorten, your glutes switch off complete, the muscles that support your lower spine stop firing, and your body, which is designed to move constantly, freezes into a single compressed position for hours at a time. Do that for years and the damage compounds silently until one morning you bend down to pick something up and your back gives out. Humans never gave their bodies the chance to forget how to move. Walking seems simple. You've been doing it your whole life. But the way you walk and the way ancient humans walked are almost completely different movements. Ancient humans walked barefoot or in minimal footwear on uneven terrain, grass, rock, moss, slope. Every single step activated dozens of small stabilizing muscles in the foot, ankle, knee, hip, and lower back. The ground was never flat. The body was never allowed to go on autopilot. Modern humans walk on perfectly flat surfaces in thick-soled shoes that cushion the strike, which means we land heel first with every step, sending a small shockwave up through the ankle, knee, hip, and spine thousands of times a day. Shoe absorbs the impact so the muscles don't have to, and muscles that don't work get weaker. And weaker muscles mean an unsupported spine. This is not a theory. Researchers studying populations that still go barefoot today in parts of Kenya, India, and South America consistently find lower rates of knee degeneration, plantar fasciitis, and lower back pain than their shoe-wearing counterparts in the same country. Ancient humans weren't just walking more, they were walking better. One of the most overlooked differences between ancient and modern humans is what researchers call postural variety. Ancient humans didn't have a default position. They were constantly transitioning. From standing to squatting to kneeling to carrying to climbing, each transition worked a different set of muscles and kept the spine moving through its full range of motion. Modern humans have essentially the same posture in a chair, a car, a sofa, and a bed. We've replaced postural variety with postural uniformity, and our spines are paying the price. Studies on the Hadza, one of the last true hunter-gatherer populations on Earth, found they transition between positions over 100 times a day. The average office worker transitions fewer than 10 times. That difference alone is enough to explain most of the chronic spinal degeneration we now consider a normal part of aging. It isn't normal. It isn't aging. Stillness. The shift happened in stages. Humans transitioned from hunter-gatherer life to farming roughly 10,000 years ago. Repetitive labor replaced varied movement. The same motions, repeated thousands of times, bending, plowing, grinding, started showing up in skeletal remains as joint wear patterns that simply don't exist in hunter-gatherer bones. Then the Industrial Revolution replaced physical labor with stationary factory work. Then the 20th century replaced factory floors with desk chairs. Each step removed more movement from daily life and replaced it with sustained static postures the human body was never designed to hold. In 300,000 years of human history, the desk chair has existed for roughly 200, and in those 200 years, chronic back pain has become the single leading cause of disability worldwide. Ancient life wasn't pain-free. Injuries from hunting, carrying, and physical trauma were common. Acute injuries healed or they didn't. The difference is that chronic pain, the kind that builds silently over decades from sustained wrong positions, was essentially absent. They weren't invincible. They were just moving the way their bodies were built to move. So the next time your back aches, your neck stiffens, or you feel that familiar pull between your shoulder blades, remember that feeling is not inevitable. It's not aging. It's not just how bodies work. It's the cost of 200 years of furniture that told your body to stop moving. Ancient humans didn't have ergonomic chairs, standing desks, physiotherapists. They had something simpler. They never stopped moving in the first place. If you want more stories like this, about what ancient humans did naturally that we're only now trying to reverse engineer with modern science, subscribe to Primordial. New video every week.